What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, Trader Brad, and you are now tuned in to the greatest. The greatest? What's wrong with the camera? Hello? Okay, maybe not the greatest anymore because the camera is all kinds of messed up. Come on, camera, focus up. Come on. Come on. Come on. Alexa, lights off. Okay, now can you focus up? This camera, my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure this one out. But hey, welcome to the Blurry Show, where we're gonna try this the whole day. Okay, you know what? I have an idea. There we go. Now we're not blurry anymore. Alexa, turn on Nano Leaf. And the lights are now up there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's restart. Let's act like this didn't happen, okay? Restart. Hello, I'm your host, Trader Brad, and we're gonna have a banger show recapping all the moves from the market today. Looking for all the moves from the market tomorrow while I get distracted over here by this piece of dirt. Don't tell me the camera got blurry again. Good, okay, we're not. But hey, what do you think about the new setup, ladies and gentlemen? You like it? We got the lights up there now. Maybe we can dim those lights a bit down. Alexa, set Nano Leaf to 20%. So you guys can see the light a little more. Alexa, set Nano Leaf to 20%. There you go. That looks a little bit better. And hopefully doesn't mess with my cameras also. As always, we have a bunch of stocks to take a look at. Most importantly, you know, Apple moved quite a bit around today to the north side and then to the south side later on. Cryptocurrencies moved around quite a bit. We also got a couple other stocks here and there, like Unity, which also moved around thanks with the help of Apple, Disney. So we got a couple stocks to look at, maybe even some bank stocks that I am just now thinking of to put on the list. And as always, we'll look at the overall market, try to find some opportunities where we can make some quick bucks on tomorrow. Market's been beautiful every single day so far, even today. Lots of opportunities. Hopefully a lot of you were able to come out green on those opportunities. At the same time, I would love to know what you guys did on the weekend. So if you are here in the chat, let me know. I see Mazos in the chat over there already saying Papega credit. I love it. I see Dider in the chat saying what's up, it's blurry. Yeah, I finally fixed it. It's just the lights in the back kind of mix with the camera, that's all. And Diaz coming out with tan, purple, blue, peach hand, purple, blue, peach hand, purple, blue. I just see peach hand, purple, blue. I don't know what's going on over there. But welcome to the chat, everyone. Let's dive right in. Let's have some fun. Let's see what's moving. Nice new lights, says Dider. Thank you, my friend. All right. I have Apple here at the top of the list. So why don't we start with that? Obviously, Apple with the WWDC23 coming in, their conference, which is I think about 5 to 6 days long. They'll be talking about all the advances in their technologies and products that they'll be doing going forward for the next year or two. And we already saw a glimpse of most of the products that they're gonna talk about, which is a 15-inch Mac or a M2 processor, an M2 Ultra processor, and then some a desktop that costs $7,000. We also saw how they're gonna upgrade their AirPods Pro with just new technology. That's it. They're not really announcing a new AirPods Pro. So for those of you who are expecting a new AirPods Pro, yikes on that side. And last but not least, they announced these goofy headsets, which are actually, not that goofy, man. I'll be honest. I'm a big Apple hater. Everyone in my family knows me to just constantly hate on Apple. This might just be the most comfiest virtual augmented reality headset out there that you can buy at the moment. Every single one of them is so clunky and so weird that it's just not fun to wear for extended periods of time. And I'm only saying this after hearing a lot of people talk about their products. Not that I have a lot of them, I have none. But this one, it looks a little futuristic. It looks like something like, a spaceman would wear. And it's something that I can see myself rocking, I just don't like this cable. I would like for it to somehow wirelessly connect to your phone. And I think that's the future, obviously, right? It looks like you're gonna have to walk around with this cable in your pocket with this M2 chip processor in this thing, allowing you to control everything. But I think in the future, obviously, you'll be able to just pair it with your phone, pop this on like a normal headphones. This will have audio too in the future, maybe. I don't know if this specific one has audio. I'm guessing not. Maybe it has audio through the speakers coming out, but no real audio headphones, because I don't really see anything. But I can see the future updates really being good. Now, I do have some questions about how tight of a strap will this be from the back. Like, I would expect it to fall off a lot. I don't know. Lots of questions. We'll just have to try it to know, I guess, right? But as Apple has always been, they've been innovators, and this is something that they're gonna really whoop Metaverse's ass on, which is Meta or Facebook, aka absolutely gonna take over. I'm actually a fan of it. So Apple with their D23, yeah, announcing the $3,500 VR AR headset. Now, they did boast a lot about it, every capabilities that it could do and all the fun stuff that you could do. Now it's just time to wait and see who buys it first, and who we can mooch off of to try it, or maybe we just have to walk into a physical store and then try it. Ryan McCrory says, what's up, Pratt? Apple Vision looks pretty cool, but expensive AF. Yeah, no kidding. Bro, stuck with SQQ losing 10K already. Would you sell or would you wait and sell, hypothetically? Yeah, hypothetically, obviously, is what I would have to say. I would have probably already gotten out of that trade and maybe gotten into a different trade later on. But that's just me. It depends on your risk tolerance, right? If you are okay with holding this much of a hit against you, and you think it's gonna go in your direction, then it's up to you, right? But right now it's a clear trend in the market. I mean, you can also see Apple right back into the previous trend that it started of originally. Then it was under that trend. Now it's right back above that trend, and we're seeing Apple near all-time highs. Keep in mind, Apple is the highest weighted stock in S&P 500. Another highly weighted stock in the S&P 500, I think, is Nvidia, and you're watching that one also take out recently highs. So if you're short and you're watching all these stocks that are inside SQQ or QQQ in general, then you might want to be careful, because, you know, Apple is maybe not the first in QQQ, maybe the second at this point, but they're pretty high weighted, right? Nasdaq is 5, and fifth most weighted. Microsoft is first, I believe. Apple second. I think Netflix might be third, or Tesla might be third, or Google might be third. I forget the list to be perfect. We can always pull up the website right here at ETF.com. We have it ready for us. So let's just go over here. Pull that up. Hello. There we go. So Microsoft at 13%, Apple at 12%, then we got Nvidia at 3rd. I thought Nvidia was 5th. Never mind. Amazon at 6th, Meta, Alphabet, Tesla, Broadcom, Pepsi. So 2 stocks alone own about 20%, and they're both breaking all-time highs. And then they did break all-time highs. So if you're short QQQ, obviously QQQ is probably, you know, running to the north side right now, and we're not sure where the market's going. This AI craze, this AI boom is pretty crazy. I would have probably been bullish, but this is all hypothetically. Obviously, I'm not telling you what to do, my friend. That is not something I can do. I am not a financial advisor. When are we expecting this tech rally to be over? Never. You know, tech rally never really ends, man. It dies for a little bit, but it never really ends. That's just how tech goes. It finds one wind and another wind, right? I mean, look at Apple's chart. Look at Apple's all-time chart. That's all I have to say. That's why you buy good companies on dips. Anytime Apple comes down, you just buy it. I mean, look at where I bought Apple, pretty much at the low of the monthly chart return right there. That's not where I bought it. I'm lying. This is where I bought it. 142. It would have been nice to be at 125, but I bought it over here. That orange line is where I bought it, and I had to hold it a little bit against me, and then I'm now glad that it's so big time in the money for me to the north side. That's why you buy good companies anytime they come down. Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon. I bought all of them. I mean, look at Nvidia. Look at even Tesla is going pretty crazy, right? So nothing easier in your playbook to add money to you, which is when the markets are crashing, just have cash ready and just start dollar cost averaging to the downside, because when the markets start going back up in a year or two, you're gonna be in the money and you're gonna be laughing, especially if you have a ton of money to put in the market, which sadly I didn't, but I'm still laughing because it's been less than a year, or just about a year, and my long-term account is now in the positive, and I can't wait to see where this one goes. Obviously today Apple's return, which is what we're talking about, returned back to the south side after I don't know what the hell they said that the investors did not like, but dumping right back to the downside around previous all-time highs. Well, not previous all-time highs. What is that purple line that I have? What is that purple line? Oh, it's just mixing with the orange line. Oh, okay, that makes sense. It's just mixing with the orange pivot point line. But it is coming to the downside. Right back under 180 we go to close on Apple, sadly. Now, what do we expect tomorrow? Is there any important economic calendar decisions coming out tomorrow? It looks like one at 12 o'clock. It's for energy and crude at 4:30. So nothing really too important coming out for the markets. Economic decisions tomorrow, economic numbers. So what can we expect from Apple? I think if we do pull down, you're gonna see support near this 174s, 175s again, right? We're expecting support to show up back in this 174, 175 areas, and if we pull up to the north side, that $3 trillion marker number is still acting as a solid barrier for Apple. So you can look for shorts anywhere from that $3 trillion marker area, which happens to be at 182.86 to 185. I'd say you could look for shorts in that range, from where this purple line is all the way up to that green line, which is now the new all-time high. And you could look for supports coming in at 174, 175 areas. And then if we do dip any more than that, I don't know why the market would just absolutely quadruple. I said I hate that word. I don't know why I said it. I'm sorry, chat. But if the market does, push even more for the rest of the week down, then we're looking for support to come in around this 170 area and we bounce somewhere off of this trend line, is what I'm expecting. So watch out for Apple to show you supports around these lows of 176, 175, 174s. Okay, here's a stock that is actually pretty interesting of a catalyst for day traders, at least if you do take advantage of it. Also at all-time highs, and it did already break all-time highs, to be honest, from the day that announced earnings, I believe, right here. Oh, well, not from the day, but ever since it started pushing towards the north side and just kept pushing up north. And then over here, S&P 500 announces that they are adding PanW to their portfolio, and they are removing Dish Networks. So anytime a stock gets added to their to the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq or whatever it is, any hedge funds or any money manager, capital manager that promise you they're tracking the S&P 500 and managing your money accordingly, if they don't also have PanW by the end of certain date, they are illegal. They are in violation of the law, and they can be persecuted because they promised you as a money manager, as a hedge fund, and you having your money invested in them, that they are going to be tracking the S&P 500 for you. So it'll be illegal for them to not have the same stock in their portfolio. That's why you're going to see the stock push up to the north side going forward for the next few days, especially on that day's close where it's getting added into the S&P 500 index, and you'll see Dish pushing down the same way as PanW keeps going up, and most likely Dish is going to get deleted from the S&P 500 index completely, not just migrated to a lower index, most likely S&P 600, 700, 800. I do believe those are there. If that does happen, we'll watch Dish Network also be fun going into the close of that day, whenever that deal closes. I don't know if they did announce exactly when that deal closes over here. Oh, okay, effective June 20th. So on June 20th, you'll see Palo Alto's volume going up. Sorry, not volume, but stock price most likely going up all the way up to June 20th, and especially going on to that day, you'll see a nice little spike coming into the close for PanW. So watch out for that one, and Dish Network to the downside. The next stock over here is actually Target. Target getting downgraded. Target has been getting beat down for the last few days now, or weeks, I guess, right? TGT. has just been getting beat down absolutely to the downside. A new 52-week low came in not too long ago. They tried to bounce off that 52-week low, but now pulling right back to the downside. Surprisingly enough, we are kind of finding support around the anchored VWAP, and this is an automatic anchored VWAP. It anchored it off of the low of that candle, which just happens to be the curl back to the north side, which is what I would pick as an anchor point too. So we are watching target right now pull back to the north side. We'll watch if the stock can keep on, you know, pushing to the north side, bouncing that, or does it now pull back and try to find support right back at the lower end of the anchored VWAP band, and or even break that and continue making a new 52-week low. Talking about seeing what's going on with the whole retail sector, you know, you might want to be a little careful being bullish about this stock, but this is a great price to buy Target. You know, in my opinion, this is a great price to buy Target for the long term. They do give a dividend. If you go to the all-time chart, yeah, there's still quite a bit of a ways for them to drop to the downside over here, but look at where we are on the all-time chart. We're exactly at the 100 period EMA. So this is the monthly chart. On the monthly chart, we are exactly near the 100 period EMA, and we're trying to bounce off of that. If Target rejects this area and pulls down even more, then I could see it actually going below 100 at that point. And if that happens, then I'm for sure jumping into this trade without a doubt, adding it to my long-term account. I don't see Target failing anytime soon, and their dividend's not bad either. It's $1.08 per share that you own, so I'm looking forward to it. I think they're gonna bounce from somewhere here first already, but if they do fail going forward, they're already getting downgraded. Downgrade also, you know, it could be scams a couple of times. It just could be these people downgrade a company so they can create liquidity for when the stock gets pushed to the downside, so they can buy up the liquidity to the north side. You know, for example, think about it this way: you're a hedge fund trader. You need liquidity. What the hell is that? You need liquidity to buy Target because it's at a 52-week low, right? It's at a 52-week low. You need to add Target to your account, but no one's really selling too much. So you post this downgrade as an analyst. Now you see some artificial selling coming in from day traders, from options writers, and maybe some actual investors. They're like, oh man, not another negative news, and they sell off their position. With that sell-off incoming, you see these hedge funds and these money managers, then buying up these positions around VWAPs, or even anchored VWAPs, which is what we're watching a lot recently and learning a lot about recently. It is absolutely a no-brainer if you think that doesn't happen in the market. And same thing vice versa to the upside, right? They say upgrade, but that's basically creating the liquidity for them to dump on that position and take profits, because they have a ridiculous amount of share size to push and move around, and they can't do that if the volume is not there in the stock. So create liquidity with an analyst report, let the stock pump up, sell your volume into that pressure that's trying to push the stock up, and you take your profits, right? So I'm always skeptic about these upgrades and downgrades. I never really follow them to the 100% key, but always good to watch what happens in the stocks going forward, because maybe if the downgrade does have any weight behind it, then you will see selling coming in behind important moving averages and important VWAP levels and so on, and you will see the stock pushing back down. At the moment, we're seeing a reversal. The 100 period EMA and the 50 period EMA are pretty far away to the north side, expecting a little bit of a reversal back up on Target still, even with that downgrade incoming. The next stock up here is Dish, but I have to quickly go take a look at the chat. We got Most Def coming in with Miami in 7. I don't know if that's true, my boy. I wish you luck though if you're from Miami. One of my buddies who just recently passed away. Oh my god. There we go. One of my buddies who just recently passed away, rest in peace, Pablo, was a cop in Miami. So I would love for Miami to win. I'm also a Jimmy Butler fan. At the same time, I don't want Kyle Lowry to win, but it's just me being a hate watcher. But it would be awesome for him to win. Dider in the chat too saying what's up. And in this chat, we got Parsa saying, Brad, what's up, Parsa? How you doing? Hit the follow, Parsa. And for all of you who are new on YouTube, if you haven't hit the follow or subscribe, sorry, hit the subscribe and the like. Hit the both subscribe and the likes would help me out a lot with the whole YouTube algorithm and so on. And if you're watching me on Twitch, make sure you hit the follow. And if you have a Twitch Prime, make sure you slap me with the Twitch Prime too. The next stock over here is Dollar General. Dollar General also recently announced earnings, got clapped to the downside. We did mark some levels to the stock over here. Looks like we are holding off around these levels still. Let's pull it back on a bigger time frame. 100 period EMA coming in, so I do expect 100 period EMAs to hold up for some support. But if that 100 period EMA does give out, we do have levels over here to the downside. Looks like 150 or so. That could be an area for that. I think 150 comes into play, honestly. Yeah, I think 150 comes into play. I think we're getting below the 100 period EMA very soon over here. But I wouldn't be surprised if the 100 period EMA on the all-time chart actually holds up, but looks like it actually only calculates it from here. So what is that, from February 18th? I wouldn't be surprised if this area holds up. Also, we got a couple resistances, previous resistance, which could be support. A lot of buyers here from previous through the breakout that could come in to support the stock again, and they could try to support the stock all the way up to 150. Now if 150 breaks, that is danger to me, because then we think I think we're dropping much deeper to the downside. So that's my level right there, is what I'll be watching for the future on Dollar General. They did get downgraded today, even though I did give you this whole rant about what I believe on downgrades and upgrades and so on. We'll see what happens. They previously announced earnings report, they failed on that, and they cut their report. So not good signs overall coming in from Dollar General. Next stock, 3M. 3M slid based after the judge over so-called Forever Chemicals agreed to delay the first trial 3 weeks so parties can finalize settlements of claims while the municipal waters provide. Bloomberg reported Monday. So a little bit of a negative catalyst coming in for 3M manufacturers. 3% slide coming in after a negative ruling from the judge. These pesky judges, right? Let me just grab some water. My mouth is getting a little pasty. Is that music too loud? That music might be too loud. I should probably turn that down. That music might be too loud. Why don't you guys tell me earlier, boys? Not your fault. Rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. Okay. 3M next up on the board. 3M coming out with the negative ruling from the judge. 444. I like that. Perfect numbers to the downside. 444. Rejecting the 50 period EMA today, pulling right back to the downside, but showing support at the previous 1, 2, 3, 4 days bounce on the daily chart over here. So looks like we got somewhat of a level over here near $98 on 3M. Tomorrow, if we do open below 98, I think that's an easy short. Easy short, most likely looking for 95 or even 92 coming into play going till the end of the week. So 3M, if under 98 or 98 breaks off open, looks like an easy short. Okay, now we actually got some fun. Woo-wee. You guys ready for this one? This stock absolutely getting slapped to the downside today, but I don't know why I'm getting happy, because that just means I'm losing a shit ton of money on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, instead of doing what it wanted us to, instead of doing what we wanted it to do, it's doing the opposite. So we got that trend line reject one more time. We pushed down, we broke the 100 period EMA to the downside. This is This is the daily chart that you're looking at, but we did bounce off one of my trend lines that, or one of my support lines that we have lined out from previously. Comes off of a little bit of these resistances over here, but it actually comes off all the way from this drop it like it's hot, which was a previous resistance, and now acting as a support. So hopefully that support comes back into play and we pop back up. But that drop in Bitcoin, and I think there was a little bit more coming in about Coinbase and friends, to be honest. Let me quickly go scroll up to see if I can find that right here. Tumbled after commission sued Binance on Monday, alleging that Binance and its co-founder Changpeng Zhao, CPZ, I think is what they call him, right? CPZ, I think that's what they call him. Commingled billions of dollars of investors' funds with their own and violated security laws. What does this even mean, fellas? Okay. Combine funds or properties into a common fund or stock. So they made like Bitcoin a stock. Isn't that how it kind of is traded though? I understand it's a crypto, that it's not a stock. I don't know, but they got sued. And because of that, you're watching cryptocurrencies all across the board today just take an absolute hit. You're watching MARA, you can watch RIOT, you can watch MSTR, you can watch COIN, BTBT, HUT, you can even go to BTC.B.TO, or is that BT? I forgot the ticker. But the point is, man, Coinbase going to the downside, taking Binance ruling coming out over there, hurting Coinbase, because we already know that Coinbase is under struggle with SEC. They are under scrutiny at the moment. So with SEC now pursuing after Binance, they could easily go after Coinbase next. They already are on their ass. So we could see more destruction coming in on cryptocurrencies over here as the Fed starts to tighten up this sector a little bit more, starts to regulate the sector a little bit more. They're also, I think, trying to regulate the banking sector a little bit, hopefully, because if they're not regulating the banking sector, especially after everything that happened recently in the banking sector, then maybe you should look at that one first and then come back to the cryptocurrencies. But obviously cryptocurrencies need to be regulated. There's so many nonsensical scams happening all the time, so I would like for investors to be safe, and the only way that is possible is by regulations and oversight coming in, and then we need to be okay with that. But that's a whole different topic for another day. So Coinbase over here, Coinbase and friends setting up for a nice little short, but right now nice bounce off of a previous support, the 55 coming here, 55-56 area, coming back in for support on Coinbase. Apparently Spotify moved today. Let's go find out why Spotify moved. Laying off 200 employees. That's sad. Mainly within his podcast division, or about 2% of his in-person force. So that's sad, obviously, for the people who are losing their jobs. But anytime a company is laying off people, especially in this current environment, it means they're going to make a little bit more money, or at least in profits. That's the idea. And I think their podcast section sucks anyways, except for Joe Rogan and Huberman Lab. Who's there really to even worthy to listen to? So I don't know, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong on that, but nice little breakout over here on the 52-week high on Spotify. We are still continuing to break 52-week highs and go to the upside, but this break was not that significant. I mean, today's move was pretty insane though, right? 151 low to 157 high. But I'll be interested to see if we are able to even get above 160. If we're able to get above 160, then we can talk about this 166, 170 areas that we have marked out. But right now, I'm expecting the stock to pull back down tomorrow, because I'm expecting the market to be red again tomorrow, and us getting hurt. I think Apple pulls down to 175. I think we see Google, AMD, Nvidia all getting hurt. AMD did end positive on the day, but barely, right? So we're looking for this area near AMD, which is 115.80, to see if we do break that area and fill the gap. If we don't fill that gap, then I'll be surprised, because that means more upside coming in the market, and am I going to be happy, because AMD investor over here, baby. AMD investor over here. Here's a stock that is going to be pretty fun for us, right? Tomorrow, because we're always happy when the stock moves around. Sadly, we are also in this, maybe I shouldn't say sadly. I don't know why I said sadly. Ignore that sadly part. Delete tape. Sadly is not the right word to use. We are very happy that GitLab booming after earnings, baby. Let's go. Look at that move on GitLab. This is where we are on the long-term account. Our average price, we did have to hold it for how long? Like, come on, for how long under our average price? From March 23rd till June 23rd. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 months I had to hold it. That's it. And now we're right back above 40. Tomorrow we're going to 50. Like, come on, ladies and gentlemen. What did I tell you about GitLab? And look, it's perfectly in line on the 5-minute chart with this support line. So I would like to see where that support line is, near 46, 47 or so. Yeah, 46.10. Or sorry, trend line, reject trend line. So 46.10 is where you're hitting it at. Somewhere over here. Ooh, I'm excited. So tomorrow, I think we're gonna see the stock pump above this trend line, or maybe pull down to even test some supports at 41, 42 areas. So we're at 46. Maybe we gotta pull down to test supports, or we close the gap, and then after that we start pushing back up to the north side. Either way, I'm expecting the closing of the gap area to be exactly where my average price is, so I'm not too worried about this position anymore, not like I was anyways. And we're getting a nice amazing move right back to the upside on this position. I'm expecting 53 by the end of next week. By the end of next week, mark my words, June 16th, the stock is going to $53. Mark my words, June 16th, $53. Okay, GitLab, I love it. CXM is also a pretty interesting stock. Most of you probably don't know about this position. It's a sprinkler. Last time I saw the earnings come out for this stock, I found out that they actually own some sort of an AI stock. I can't remember exactly what AI stock it is, but I do remember that they own an AI stock, and that earnings report helped the stock out in return somehow. And previous earnings report, yeah, look at that previous earnings report, they popped up pretty crazily to the upside, came back to the 100 period EMA, bounced off the 100 period EMA, moved back to the upside, and now off the new earnings report that came out today after hours, they took out the previous earnings day high, or the previous earnings report week high. So that's pretty bullish to me, right? That's pretty bullish to me. I'm looking for the support to come in again around this 1350s area, where the stock closed after hours. Where stock closed through the day, but after hours we moved up to 1440, 1460 almost coming into play. What is that? 1460 over here. Ooh, that's a solid resistance on 1460. We also have another solid resistance coming out near 1639. So maybe 1460 acts as a resistance on this position, but if we do break above that, then I will not be surprised with the stock going up to 15 bucks. Will not be surprised with the stock going up to 15 or even 16. So watch out for the stock tomorrow. CXM might be some fun to play. Uncle Durka saying, "Sup boys, what's up baby? Pretty daddy, we going all in BBBYQ or nah?" Is that Bed Bath and Beyond OTC? Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that, my friend. That's gonna be a hard pass. SJM coming out with earnings report pre-market tomorrow. A little bit of a lower volume stock, only 1.18 million shares traded today. Average shares of 1.23. Stock price is 150-ish or so. With the amount of volume that we see on board, I'm expecting the stock is pretty spready. So obviously you want to be careful if you're trying to push size on the stock. You will get easily fingerprinted on heavy volume, and they will push you out of this trade because they see what you're trying to do, and they would know that you're a easy to spot a day trader. Okay, so I'd be very careful on this position if you're trying to push size. But with the catalyst tomorrow in mind, which is earnings pre-market, that could bring an extended force of volume, an extended volume burst coming into this position, allowing us to maybe put some positions on, put some risk on the table, make some trades. But SJM over here, currently on the day, flat. We'll see tomorrow based on the earnings report if it helps it continue to its trend to the north side that it was mostly holding to. I don't expect a new all-time high coming off this earnings report. Maybe we pop somewhere to 155 or 160s, but I'll be surprised if we do see a new all-time high on SJM. What are your thoughts on you? Yeah, we have you coming up over here on top gainers. Real quick, before we go to you, let me explain what's going on with CIR. Ooh, Hitman coming in with the Twitch Prime resubscribe. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate the love, Hitman. You the man, dog. You the man. Man, that light looks like a crown on my head. I am a king. That's my crown. Okay, anyways. So CIR is getting bought out for how much? $49 cash. So this stock is getting bought out for $49 cash. It popped up a little bit above $51 today. Wow. Let's see, when did it pop up to $51? Let's go to the 1-day chart. At what time did you go up to 51, my friend? You did not at all, you liars. Oh, okay, that was just the VWAP band that tripped me out. So it popped up to 47.88, 47.84 is where it closed. The stock is getting bought out for $49 overall. So ever since it popped up today from $29, $30 that it was at previous close, it just kept on pushing up to the north side. So pretty decent clean move to the north side, and tons of volume traded today. Yeah, I mean, compared to its average volume of 400,000 shares, it traded 3 million shares today. So pretty clean volume spike. That's the big relative volume spike coming in. So very much in play today, might be in play tomorrow too. The average price that it's getting bought out for is 49. If the stock is anywhere near 49, you can look for shorts. If it's trying to push up towards 49, you can look for longs, but it's going to be pretty hard to trade the stock as a normal trader. So I don't know, I'd wish you luck. This is more of our setup at the workplace. Tesla, you guys know how I feel about Tesla. I never really trade it. I'm pretty bad at the stock, but I'll give it a quick little look at it for you guys. We are still continuing the north side push, up 1.7% today on Tesla. So look, we're getting higher than the last peak, the last earnings peak, and the previous earnings peak. So it looks like it wants to push up towards that 240 area. They want that 240, but if the market does not want to be green, then I can't really expect that from Tesla. So I'd say be careful if you're looking longs. I'm being a little bearish on the market. Palantir, the ladies and gentlemen, can we get a standing ovation for my friend over here, Palantir, finally pushing up to the north side and breaking even for me on my long-term account. Now we're only like pennies away from breaking even on the long-term account. We were actually at one point in the money. I could have just cashed out because I was stressing, but no, I'm holding Palantir all the way up till the stock goes to 200, 300 bucks in the near future. Not anytime soon. Remember what I'm saying, not anytime soon, but I do think the stock deserves to be, crazy amounts of dollars, and you will see that coming out in the future. I will keep my peace at that and just move on. So Palantir, I'm very happy watching it get back to my average price. Just keep on climbing up, baby. Keep on climbing up. We already talked about Apple at the start of the show, so we'll go to SoFi at the moment. SoFi still continue to climb, 3% move up today. I mean, look, we need $13, so we're still quite a bit of a ways over here to break even, but anytime SoFi moves up, I'm not complaining. Part of this might just be the help that, PACW, I thought PACW moved up today. What was that bank that moved up today? Was it some other bank? I forget. So XLF, let's see what XLF did. XLF was down. Okay, KRE was down also. Yikes. Okay, let's go back to what we're looking at. SoFi, I guess, not sure what it is, previous earnings catalyst or whatever previous news catalyst was, is still helping the stock to continue push to the north side right now. We're waiting to see how $8 behave. I think we're going to see some good shorts coming in around $8, and if the stock does dip back under 7, you have easy shorts all the way back down to $6 on this position, so watch out for that. I think 660, 670 though has kind of starting to become somewhat of a new support area, which was kind of previous resistance area, so watch out for that area to come in as support. Now we're going to Dieter's suggestion. You Palantir to 300, says the Bachelor. I'm not gonna deny that statement, but I also don't want to be that person who like expects crazy amounts of prices, right? So I'll say 150 to 200. I expect Palantir to do that in the next 5-10 years easily. Retirement money, baby. Unity at the moment is like no words for it, right? We do know that the stock is a highly shorted stock. I have no clue what I'm talking about. I thought Unity was a highly shorted stock. What? Maybe not after it dropped from like 180 200 bucks to like 20 bucks, I guess, right? But overall, Unity, they're pretty well known for their game development software, game development technologies. They did get a pretty nasty pop today off their whole announcement of Apple with their Vision headset and so on. I didn't really get to see the actual news catalyst perfectly, so why don't we do that right now? Unity stocks rockets on Apple Vision Pro partnerships. There you go. I just had to guess on it. If someone needs to develop the interface, the UI, the user interface, and the visual interface and so on for you to interact with, and most popular software out there that game developers use is Unity. I know there's other ones out there too, Unreal Engine, which is from Epic Games, I believe, but whatever it is that they pick to use, this partnership is going to help them a lot, because a lot of people are going to go buy that $3,500 headset. You're going to have those fangirls just lining up around the block just so they can say, yeah, I'm rocking a $3,500 headset. I dare you to walk around with that headset on your head and you don't get robbed for that. I'm not saying I'll rob you, but I would be scared to wear that $3,500 headset on a public transit or even at the park somewhere if I'm just sitting at outside, right? At the same time, you could say the same about like those really expensive headphones, I guess, which are like $700 from Apple. I thought if I saw someone wearing a $700 headset, that's just an instant rob on site. But I have seen people with it. I haven't robbed them, right? Maybe because I'm just a nice guy. Overall, man, Unity, we could see more pop coming in. Like this might just be the start of pop in Unity. Right? We have been waiting to see what Apple wants to do by getting into the metaverse space. The whole time that the Apple was talking, they have not said AI once. Maybe they have something to say about AI later on in the day, later on in the conference dates, next few dates that are coming up. But right now, as we are standing, they have not said a single AI word on the first day of the conference. So Unity over here, getting traction until then, most likely. As long as, you know, the Vision Pro name just keeps on screaming out there, and Apple just keeps on pumping it out, all the games that they're talking about, all the interfaces and everything is only going to in return help out Unity. So I'd be very much watching the stock going forward for the next few days. So tempting to short things when they are pushing to higher levels, but if that was the thought 2 or 3 weeks ago, I have to believe shorts got thrashed. It's like catching a fallen knife upside down, pretty much, my friend. Stocks market plan. It's just, you know, I don't know what it is. I kind of have that feeling too as a day trader. You know, if something's popping up, I gotta short it. It's gotta stop going up. It's gotta revert to the mean. But if you always look for the right levels, look for the right reasons to enter, look at the tape, look for the tape dying down, and the velocity of the tape slowing down, and the characteristics of the tape changing and moving in the other direction instead. That's your shorts right there. If you want to catch the shorts, or if you want to catch the falling knife, if you are a reversal type trader. But at the end of the day, it's easier to just follow the trend. Just go for the move overall in the day trade. It'll most likely pay you and not stress you out as much as trying to catch a reversal. I'm sure that applies in swing trading too, maybe, but I just haven't done swing trading as much or at all. I do invest in long term a little bit, but yeah, I don't own any for swing trade at the moment. But Unity as a day trade, I am very much looking for the stock to see how this one moves around tomorrow. We talked about Coinbase. We also talked about MSTR. I don't think we actually looked at any levels on MSTR. Look, I'm pretty surprised still that the stock is still above, you know, 200 bucks at the moment. Like, weren't we recently looking at absolute destruction on this stock, going into bankruptcy levels, where we saw the stock was almost going into default mode? So that's the low over there. Why did it say 90 bucks? No, that's not true. So that's the low over there near 132. Let me find 132. 132.56. The next time we do push to that low and we start breaking below that low, you can kiss all your money goodbye on Bitcoin. And right now we are on a little bit of a downtrend. If you look at this chart, come on, buddy. I mean, this is pretty subjective though, right? But I don't really like the bottom line. I'm going to remove the bottom line. The top line is what I'm going to use at the moment. So we are looking for this stock to most likely continue pushing to the downside, rejecting over here, and also maybe showing us some support if Bitcoin keeps going down. If Bitcoin saves itself one more time and starts rallying back up, obviously that is going to save MSTR, and that is going to stop them from going back into bankruptcy states tendencies. I think they did announce previously that they bought more and that averaged them down, and that saved them from bankruptcy or whatever. I don't buy it. I think they're just bullshitting and fluffing their numbers. I think they're still pretty close to getting blown up, if especially Bitcoin gets blown up itself. Probably should not be saying that BLOW on up word too much before I end up on an NSA TSA non-flight list because of YouTube algorithms. So let's move on from that topic. I think MSTR could have more downside, same like Coinbase and all of its friends in crime. So I'd be a little careful on that one. PDSB, is that the ticker? That is the ticker. PDSB had a nasty drop today after hours, but picked up a little bit after hours. So throughout the day had a nasty drop, but picked up. So what I actually found on this stock, or why I picked it up, is because of this move after hours. 20% pop after hours, but I should have forgotten about it because obviously only a 255k volume pushed into the after hours. So clearly the original move was to the downside. We halted at one point, we opened up much lower, we pulled back up, and then in the after hours with light volume, we're just relief rallying up there with shorts covering. So no real trade coming in over here for PDSB, especially not for me. The market cap on that stock was what, 203 million, 201 million. So yeah, sleeper. Moving on from this one, let's go to the Nasdaq market. QQQ today still up on the day, barely though, but we'll take it. Flat on the day. Okay. S&P 500, I think pretty much the same, but to the other side, you know, 0.19, but still flat on the day. I don't think that's too much, you know. 0.19 to the downside, especially after having multiple 0.1, 0.2 days to the upside. Can't complain. But what is the ES doing right now on the market? ES is absolutely flat. Keep in mind my market's actually delayed over here by 15 minutes on TradingView, but at the moment ES is flat. Looks like we want to hold up at today's lows and not really go too much further than that at the moment. The fact that tomorrow we don't have any big market environment, market economic events coming out might just give us another boring, no real big moves type of day in the market. We might just have to keep on watching Apple again and Unity again, and that's where all the fun might be, because Apple is continuing with their WWDC conference day 2. So anything interesting that they announce tomorrow, any partnerships they announce tomorrow, also will be on the board. We'll have fun with seeing how that one moves around. Let's quickly go see how the NASDAQ market moves. NASDAQ market, yeah, it looks like it wants to hold. And if you see this anchored VWAP stuff, actually kind of is beautiful how it works, eh? We're holding up at the higher end of the anchored VWAP. We'll see if it continues holding up. The bachelor coming in chat saying, can you look at Microsoft? Yeah, we'll look at Microsoft right now. Ooh, don't tell me I pinged that exact high today. Is that true? I love it. I pinged pretty close to the exact high today, only off by like 20-ish cents or so. We'll take that as a win. Beautiful short coming off of that level over there. So it looks like that 338.55, 339 area on Microsoft acting as a little bit of a barrier at the moment to the north side, not allowing the stocks to go too much to the north side. Looks like 340 wants to be tested, but we're just not able to go up there at the moment. No real catalyst to help the market push up there. Looks like the market has already juiced the AI catalyst as much as it can, and that's the most we can go. But keep in mind, we are not too far away from all-time highs. If you're not already taking, look, what was it, 5 months ago, 3 months ago, we were all talking about possible destruction on the market and going into recession and bankruptcy and all that, and here we are right now, looking at Microsoft at near all-time highs or dollars away from all-time highs, Apple breaking all-time highs and closing under that, Nvidia breaking all-time highs and trading still above the previous all-time high. A lot of these stocks are going crazy. So if you are long, especially, I'm talking to myself right now, if you are long somewhere here and you rode it up all the way here and you're not taking at least 10% off the table, and then you watch it come back down and even much lower, then you're a moron. I'm sorry. You're a moron. Like, if that actually happens, you're a moron at that point. Alright. Let's quickly go look at the chat over here. Day trading is different for sure. Not so much for a swing trader, believe me. Okay. Sub-prod trader with T3 trading here. Used to watch you on Trader TV Live. Glad you're still trading. Thank you, Dwindle. I appreciate it, my friend. Dwindle. Bitcoin made a multi-day low. Yes, Bitcoin made a multi-day low. I think my Bitcoin is up to date. It is up to date time period. Let's go see multi-day low. Yeah, I made a, yeah. I mean, we are below the last few 10 days. More than 10 days. I have a scanner that looks for any position that's below the 10-day range or above the 10-day range. So basically a 10-day range breakout, and this would for sure ping in that scanner. Did we look at Microsoft? Yeah, I just looked at it, Brad. Can you look at Shopify, says Uncle Durka. Let's go take a look at Shopify in the meantime. What are your thoughts on you? I looked at that. And what about the Disney partnership? Yes, I was going to move on to the Disney partnership after the Unity partnership and so on. we'll look at that. But what are my thoughts on Shopify? So Shopify currently bouncing perfectly within these ranges that I have previously mapped out. This is my whole range on Shopify from here to here, but keep in mind we do have a nice little gap to the downside if we do break this range. So anywhere below 52.50s, I'm looking for that gap fill play coming into the downside on Shopify. But at the moment, as we are continuing to bounce above the 55 area, let's say, as we continue bouncing above 55, the stock looks like it wants to push back towards 65, and maybe we do get a breakout above 65. But we do have another range to the north side. Right now we do have a beautiful box that it's getting boxed in by two other boxes. Box to the left, box to the right. I'm getting boxed in. If you watch Fortnite, or if you are anything Fortnite related, you know what that joke is. You know, box you like a fish. You're free. You're freer than a free sample at Costco. And the kid just keeps on ripping. Anyways, I'll stop. I won't bore you guys with young Fortnite shit. All right. So that's my opinion on Shopify. I think we keep on bouncing in this range until either buyers win and we start pushing and they take out the sellers, or the sellers win and we push back down and we take out the buyers and we close the gap. The gap, baby. The monster gap. The beautiful gap. So one more time, let's quickly review. If we missed any important stocks, doesn't look like it. Don't know most of these companies, to be honest. The ones that I do know, I looked at it already. This is a pro article, so suck your mother. We'll go to this one. Don't forget that one. Okay, we already looked at this. There is no important economic articles. No, nothing really. Take a look at that. So why don't we just go take a look at the Fed rate tool, ladies and gentlemen. The Fed rate tool at the moment is showing a 77% chance of a no rate hike, apparently. I guess with the way the markets are moving, they think the rate hikes are going to be paused. They are absolutely being delusional if they think that is going to happen. I think a rate hike is going to happen. We will see a random rate hike and the markets absolutely popping to the downside. And that day, Patty Daddy is going to make so much money, you guys won't even understand. Hopefully I do get to trade and not work for Trader TV Live that day in the morning, because that will be amazing. And I can't wait for that opportunity. But right now we just have to patiently wait. That day most likely coming in, not most likely, it is coming in on the 14th of June. So be ready. Next week, Wednesday, 14th of June, Fed Watch tool telling us the date coming in, 14th of June. This is the date that the interest rate decisions will be announced. Tomorrow, no real important number, but we might have CPI next week. Sorry, next Wednesday. So here we go. What is this? PMI was here. What is going on? Mortgage numbers Wednesday over here. Oh yeah, we already got CPI last week, right? So initial jobless claims on Thursday. Import export numbers, crude oil inventory. And then we got nothing on Friday. Speculative net positions. Wait, is that the... No, that's not. June 23rd is the S&P 500 rebalance. Oh yeah, and then next week we got core CPI Tuesday. There you go. And then Wednesday, core PPI. And the interest rate. Yo, this is a cluster fucking a half. What is going on here? Was it always like this? Like, you don't do an interest rate on the same day as like a number or the PPI and the CPI in the same week as the interest rate, do we? We've never done that before. Quad witching on June 16th? These markets are hot, boys. Yeah, these markets are hot. We got very fun stuff coming up every single day next week, almost. Going into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Tomorrow, nothing really happening. So be tuned. You know, save your risk. Save your risk for the perfect opportunity. Snipe those opportunities and patience will win you the game, ladies and gentlemen. June 16th is my 21-year anniversary, says Stock Market Plan. Ooh, 21-year anniversary. Congratulations, my friend. The whole take T2 gaming software has been on a tear. T2W hasn't shared as much as I thought it would. TTWO, they have like one good game. Let's be real. Rockstar Gaming, and that's a GTA franchise, right? The rest of them is or whatever. Do they own Zynga? I think Take-Two owns Zynga, right? Yeah, Take-Two owns Zynga. What else they got? They don't own Activision Blizzard. Get out of here. That's it. Bro, what are these games? Okay. No. No. They got nothing. They got absolutely nothing. All they have is Rockstar Games and Zynga. Like, who else do they make money off of? Oh, they got NBA 2K League? Okay, so they make money off of that. Yeah, so they make money off of 2K. And that's it. 2K, Zynga, and Rockstar. So Take-Two, I don't see it doing too much. You know, it's like EA. Oh, stop it. What am I doing? Hello? It's like EA. You expect EA to take advantage like from the Unity Apple deal? No, right? And neither will Activision, but Activision is doing its own thing right now because they're getting taken over by Microsoft. The deal one day gets approved by one branch of regulators, and the next branch of regulators come in and they say, "You shall not pass," and they just slam that hammer down on these guys. So Activision getting blocked by those little troubles coming in for these guys. But overall, man, Microsoft and Activision trying their best to make that deal go through, and that just gives Microsoft more power to get more into the gaming. You know, Microsoft already owns a ton of great games. They own Xbox gaming console, and by buying Activision, they can put it right into their Xbox Game Pass. I could see World of Warcraft being included in Xbox Game Pass, where you pay $30 or $10 or whatever Xbox Game Pass is, and you can play World of Warcraft. I could see that happening easily. And then Activision obviously does what they do, which is microtransaction the shit out of their gamers by increasing the price of the shit in game and ruining the fun for everybody else as always. That's why I hate Activision and Blizzard. They absolutely suck. Call of Duty, a shit franchise, a garbage franchise, can go die absolutely. But at the end of the day, they want to buy them out, and that gives them more power in the gaming. But Activision over here getting hurt. If Activision deal actually goes through, you will see Take-Two and EA going up, and not that much Unity, right? Because they're different things. Unity does different. EA Sports companies or their developers that they distribute most likely use Unity software, so it's kind of a different deal over here. Unity supporting Apple with their software and everything in that realm. You're obviously seeing it push up. Disney over here, man, not sure what that deal was, but obviously helped the crap out of them. Disney pushing right back to the upside. I did see something about Baby Yoda sitting in a in a little spaceship. It looked like you were sitting in a spaceship with Baby Yoda and you were flying around. So I guess some sort of a Marvel adventure that they created with partnership with Disney, kind of promoting you to buy that headset if you are a Star Wars fan, or if you're a Disney fan. And trust me, there's a lot of Disney fans out there. There's gonna be tons of kids asking their parents to buy that headset so they can interact with Elsa in front of them, right? Oh, it's Elsa, or whatever the hell it is from Frozen, or whoever is the most popular Disney character right now, right? The kids will love that. So I could see that peer pressure happening, and parents saving up some money and going out there and buying some expensive products and so on. I could totally see this stuff happening. And Disney got a ton of catalog that they can provide to Apple. Not like Apple doesn't have a ton of catalog already, but Disney can provide that catalog also with this partnership. And basically with Disney Plus, with with Apple TV, they can just combine and play that on the headset. So there's so many possibilities with this headset. And imagine Disney offers you like some sort of a special interactive experience if you wear this headset throughout their theme parks, right? And it will only happen if you wear the Apple headsets. You can't wear it in the Meta headsets. You can't do it the other headsets. So these headsets, man, I'm even though the price is crazy, I think it will sell. I honestly think it will sell. I'm not saying I'm gonna buy it, but I like it. I like it. It's hard for me to hate on it. Apple makes beautiful products. Let's be real. Apple makes beautiful products. In the future, I can see this thing being wireless. I can see you strapping this thing on your head with headphones on here, and you basically have a completely immersive experience, right? You can put on your AirPods right now, probably put on your AirPods, connect it to your phone, connect your headphone to your phone, instead of having this shitty wire and old brick iPod looking thing. And now you have the power of the world in front of your hands. You're traveling to work and you're literally just moving shit in the air, looking like a crackhead obviously, but moving shit in the air and just getting work done, being way more productive. I don't know, especially Dieter on the YouTube chat right now. You're a Photoshop guy. You just strap this on and just use your hands for everything, man. It would be absolutely insane. I could see that happening. So Disney, though, is what we're talking about. I got sidetracked. Beautiful partnership, in my opinion. I think they can do a lot with that headset. I'm just upset with the price. The price is ridiculous. Like, I think you can bring that price down, but it's just Apple knows that they can do whatever the hell they want. They can do whatever the hell they want, and it's a premium product with a premium name for a premium price. That's Apple. Right? That is Apple. They might just set the trend for the metaverse by AR VR headsets for a little while. Let's go back to the chat over here. Let's see what the chat is saying. Ignore fundamentals. The chart, though. Yeah, the chart. They make BioShock, Civilization, and Borderlands 2. I mean, yo, come on, let's be real. Borderlands was cool. Borderlands 1 and 2 was okay. And then it's just like, what the hell? Civilization I never really played, but I think those games are okay. They're not bad. BioShock is sleeper. Unity supports all those gaming companies. Good long-term play indeed. Especially a great long-term play for virtual reality, metaverse, and everything. But those VR headsets aren't recommended for kids, and it's $3,500. I mean, like, you know, grown-up people still, even for you think a kid won't use it? You think a kid's not strapping it on and going into Roblox land? Come on, man. Exactly. Disney is only confusing if you're new. It's the first time you go. Everybody thought a $600 iPhone nobody would pay for. Yeah, exactly. Everyone thinks what Apple comes out with first, prices are insane and no one's gonna buy them. And then the whole world buys them because people are fangirls and they make beautiful products. Right? So, I can see it happening. I can see it happening. Let's go see. Could be a fun trip on mushrooms. Oh, baby, I am not denying that one. That one, I can see the headset strapped on, and you just have fun. You know, doing whatever you want. Any sort of illicit. I don't want to use the words. Just do whatever you want. Just do whatever you want. Okay. Pretty much done with everything that we want to talk about for the day. I do want to quickly go here onto this screen. Where is this screen? How do I go to that screen now? Full cam. There we go. I forgot how to use my own controller here. Kind of want to go to this screen to talk about a couple new changes that might be coming in soon. We might possibly be moving the stream to an earlier time. Right, it might be 4:15, 4:30 ish. Well, we're still figuring out what time we want to do it till. Start from. Sorry, and there's gonna be a little bit changes. You guys are gonna notice the changes when they do show up. So just wait for that. And another thing is obviously tomorrow. We are not sure what's gonna happen. No real big events from the market. So please be careful. It might be a boring day on the market. You don't need to force any trades. There's absolutely no need to ever force trades unless the setup is there. Just don't smash it, right? Be safe, protect your money, protect your capital. And then last but not least, go check me out on all my social medias. Everything's straight down below. You can hit on the Linktree page. It gives you everything. Or you can just look right above the Linktree page. I think you see the Twitter, the Instagram, the TikTok, and the YouTube, which is what I'm also streaming on right now. So also check out YouTube if you haven't yet. Hit the follow on that one. A lot of fun stuff coming up in the future, so stay tuned. You know, Trader Prad never disappoints you. So thank you for always coming in, showing me love. It's been a beautiful an hour and 21 minutes of streaming for you guys. I can't wait to do it again tomorrow night for you, 8:30 p.m. But like I said, very soon, big changes coming. So stay tuned for that one. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, go get some sleep, go get some rest. Good luck in the market tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow early in the morning at the Trader TV desks. Well, on the ones and twos, not at the trading desks. But I will see you back here live at 8:30. So good night. Peace. Ciao. Mwah. Love you guys.